Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens and Uncle Joe McLaughlin. Hopefully, JP's first son, Tim Hoey, will be joining us very shortly. Well, boys, we have another great show for you tonight, so let's get it started. We start with the New England Patriots. It was cut-down day yesterday and today. Something happened yesterday that definitely surprised us. Cam Newton is sent out the door. Boys, your reaction?
Well, I think it was the move to make. We all wanted Mac, right?
Yeah.
And you can't keep them both. You can't have a divided locker room. They both can't exist in the same room. If you have a quarterback controversy, you don't have a quarterback. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was the right thing, and it gives Cam. He's a free agent now. He can make a deal with anyone he wants, and he got paid here. He got that last payday before they set him free. So
yeah, it's one of those things where I didn't see it coming, but in retrospect, it makes complete sense, right? Like, if you're gonna start Mac, Cam's an alpha dog. He's got such a big personality, right? He's always been the guy. I'm sure he would have done the best he could to minimize his ego. I actually think he's a good guy. My takeaway from the Cam Newton era in New England is he's a really good guy. Made some questionable decisions, but I'm sure he was going to try to sort of bury his ego. But like, and Mac does not need Cam Newton over his right shoulder for a year, being the alpha dog. If you're going to be a quarterback of an NFL team that's starting, you need to be the alpha dog.
No one's going to be screaming for Brian Hoyer, so that's the
exactly
you want.
Look, I think he would have, Cam Newton, like we talked about many times before, would have graduated to the 5 to 7 play role, but I don't think that Cam Newton would have been receptive to that. I believe because of Sunday, Cam Newton playing with the first string, that he was still the starting quarterback of the Patriots on Sunday. I think they came to him on Monday and said, we've had a hell of a week with the COVID stuff. Can you get vaccinated? He said no, and they said, that's it.
It could have happened that way, Scotty. It really could have. You can't. It's better to have a.
No, that's against the they have to give up draft choices.
No, I think that was implicit in all of this, which is the only thing worse than a starting quarterback who's unvaccinated is a backup quarterback who's unvaccinated.
Yeah.
But if they tell him to get vaccinated,
sure,
no,
but
Joe,
maybe they don't say the words, but they make it
can't.
clear, like, hey, Cam, if you're not going to play ball, sorry about it.
Joe, are you kidding? All they do is ask him the question. They can ask, do you plan on getting vaccinated or not? That's just a legitimate question. Of course, Belichick said in his press conference, no, the reason they cut him was not because of the vaccination. They can't say that. They cannot say that they did that, but it's pretty clear by what
Urban Meyer's been investigated for it right now.
If they were going to cut Cam, Mac would have been the first quarterback out playing the Giants and with the first string, Joe. Simply enough. That's the way they handle things in the NFL.
Yeah, I was surprised. I really was surprised. I mean, I thought that the obvious thing to do if you were Belichick, not the best thing, but the most obvious, the easiest path was start Cam for 4 games.
Yes.
Give Max some more time, make the switch, and you never look back, right? But I give him a ton of credit for basically saying, look, the better guy won the job. He won the job outright. I want to reward people who go compete on the field, win jobs. He's our guy. I'm 100% in on that.
And nobody's going to miss Cam Newton, win or lose. It's not. No one's ever going to turn and say, "Oh, geez, if we had just had Cam Newton today, we would have won the game."
Yeah, this is back. He's got a lot of balls in these things. I can remember he benched the most popular guy in the history of Cleveland Browns. Still the most popular guy in the history of Cleveland Browns, and Bernie Kosar. And with everyone screaming, including the owner, screaming at him that he can't do it, and he's got to put him back. He does the right thing by the team.
Oh,
and I think putting Mac Jones in and clearing the path for him by getting rid of Cam was the right thing.
Russ, him cutting Cam Newton is far less of an impact than when he traded Richard Seymour, dumped Lawyer Malloy. He's made some moves over the course of his 20 years. Incredibly.
Look, this is what you get when you have a GM and a coach who's just not scared of his job security, right? Yeah. He's not scared. He never does anything out of fear. Now, he doesn't make the right decision all the time.
No.
But he doesn't ever do anything out of fear, right? Yeah. He'll cut a guy who he drafted high. He's done that too many times to remember, right?
Right.
He'll cut a Cam Newton, even though he likes Cam Newton. I actually think he thinks a ton of Cam Newton, but he cut him.
Yep. Yep. Look, he benched Malcolm Butler.
Right.
I mean, a star of the won him a Super Bowl, and he benched him. Yeah, he's got the balls. But now Mac Daddy is ready, even though Joe doesn't believe it. I had to.
Well, I don't think he's ready, but I think this is the way we've chosen. He's chosen this path. Let's get behind him. Let's go. I think the team is set up for his skill set with 3 or 4 tight ends. It's going to be all 12 sets. With double tight ends for max protection. He's got a great offensive line in front of him. He's going to get an extra second or two. He's got a stable full of running backs. Just run the ball, short passes, and occasionally, look for Aguilar or Myers downfield.
Russ, we talked about if the Patriots could only get like a Justin Herbert, like the San Diego Chargers, fell upon last year. Mac Daddy feels like that type of quarterback.
We don't need that. We got what we got, and that'll work.
Look, he doesn't have, and this is the only hesitation I have, and this is, I'd have to give, Greg Bedard's been talking about this for weeks, is Mac has not been in a full year of a training program as an NFL football player, as a starter. And I think his body next year or the near year after and the year after that is going to look better and better. And he's going to be able to withstand, a bit of a beating. He's not Justin Herbert in terms of size. He's 6'2". What's he? Yeah. He's not a big, Jimmy G is bigger than him.
Right. No,
Jimmy G wasn't a big dude, and Jimmy G's been injured a lot, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And you look at Cam Newton alongside of Mac Daddy, and Cam's a lot bigger.
Oh man. So, can if the Patriots do well this year, Mac's going to play, 18, 19 games. And that's a big load for a guy who's not been in the NFL body program yet.
No, it's a great point. Absolutely. And the last thing we want to see on the field is Brian Hoyer ever again.
I still remember that at the end of the first half against Kansas City last year. Oh my God. Awful.
The only thing I would question is whether in all of this, Belichick should have done more at the backup QB position, right? And gotten a guy who, if he had to go in and play 5 games, could win you 3 of them, and I don't think Brian Hoyer's that guy. And so maybe they just weren't out there, or he didn't want to spend the money or whatever, but they're a little thin.
I guess so. They're putting a lot of pressure. You look, they spent a lot of money and they have a quality defense, veteran defense, and they put all the pressure on Mac Daddy is tough.
No, I think they're going to be in 12 sets, even 22 sets the whole year. Maximum protection, with like 6 or 7 blockers.
Yeah.
You're not going to go empty a lot like they did with Tom.
Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. There's going to be a lot of dump off passes to running backs and tight ends in this offense.
Yeah.
And the receivers are going to be able to have enough time to get open too. Maybe the more wily ones like Myers, but I have no great hopes that N'Keal Harry will ever get open no matter what.
Well, I think they've shown Mac Daddy Tom Brady film on how to get rid of the ball when you don't have a receiver, because if you notice some of those plays, he just dumped the ball just like Tom Brady and we'll move on to the next down. That's experience, but that's also keeping him upright.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to try to, with their quarterback room, you've got to try to max out the number of games that are started this year by Mac, right?
Yeah.
And you just want to look, you need to give this guy some time to develop. He's going to make mistakes. Every rookie makes mistakes. Like we have to have a higher threshold for Mac fouling up than we do with a veteran quarterback.
Peyton Manning was a disaster.
20 years, he said he knew the answers. He knew all the answers on the test because he'd seen every defense and every, permutation of every defense.
What's the over under on the number of interceptions Mac throws this year?
Oh, wow. I would say at least 20.
No, I would say, no, they're not going to be throwing it.
I bet the over under is like 15.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, right there.
But what's the over and under in what game he throws his first pick six? Because I know that's happening.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's out there. He almost did the other night.
Hey, look, by the way, we're gonna still take. Look, I think they're gonna have a better record this year than they would have with Mac than they would have with Cam. I don't think there's any question. But we're gonna lose a couple of games because we're gonna be thinking that he's Tom Brady out there because he looks like Tom Brady. He handles a line of scrimmage like Tom Brady. He's accurate like Tom Brady, but he's going to lose 2 to 3 games this year because he's not Tom Brady.
No, he's not. You see him in an interview. He's a very handsome guy, and all the 14-year-old girls are going to have Mac Daddy jerseys. But he's very soft spoken.
Scotty. He is no Jimmy G.
Oh no, Jimmy G's another league. That's why I mentioned the 14-year-olds.
Come on.
He's a teen heartthrob. He's Leif Garrett. He's Sean Cassidy. There you go. So I'm throwing you back some names. All right. Because we're Boston sports fans and we just are tortured by the last man on all of our rosters. That's what we talk about 80% of the time. So it's draft time. It's cut time. They cut some guys, but this year is unique. You can have 16 players on the practice squad. 16. Yeah. They've really done it right. You truly have a taxi squad now. So all the guys who got cut by the Patriots, not one player got picked up. And now all of a sudden they're all coming back in the fold.
Yeah, they've got
feels really good depth-wise.
One guy went to the 49ers, but it was nothing important.
I have it at
back.
12 guys are back. I just counted. So, they've got 4 more slots. I'm sure they're looking around for who to bring back.
Yeah, I had been surprised. I had mentioned in the show a few weeks ago how I liked Miles Bryant a lot. And he had a great rookie season. That was a weird cut. I thought he would get picked up, but yeah, he's back. That gives them depth because they put Gilmore on the PUP list for 6 weeks. How do you think that plays out?
They're still negotiating that contract. And the Patriots are obviously playing hardball. They said no. They're not going to give him what he wants.
Now he can, if he's PUP the whole year, then he's not a free agent after this year.
No, he can go as late. I think, Joe, he can go as, something like that. It's like 9th, 10th, 11th game. I don't know how they adjusted it with the 17-game schedule now, but he's going to have to play the last 6 or 7 games to be able to become a free agent.
I think he's a free agent after this year anyways.
No, not if he stays in the public the whole time.
No, if his contract doesn't toll, if he doesn't play, he don't.
But if he's on PUP, then the contract would toll.
If he's on PUP, but at some point in time, if he doesn't play, like the Patriots will activate him, and if you
that's if you don't sign your tender.
Yeah.
If he's on the PUP, the contract will toll, and his contract will.
Yeah, but they'll activate him off the PUP. Why would you lose that leverage? I would activate him off the PUP, and if he refuses to report, then you suspend him and say sorry. You're gonna have to play the last 6 games of the year at a minimum.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks from now, we could be talking about how Quinn Nordin blew a field goal. I'm very shocked that they went with him instead of.
Well, he's got Nick Folk on the practice squad, by the way.
Oh, he does. He did get the practice squad. Okay, so this is just maneuvering.
Maybe, or they're going to give the kid a shot, and he's got 3 games, and as soon as he blows the second game, they bring Nick Folk back to the rescue.
Belichick's just loving this 16-man practice squad. Jesus. Oh my God!
Well, it was 16 last year too.
Yeah, but who even paid attention? And Patriots didn't even have 16 good players on their team, Joe. They could all been them practice squad. They were so bad. Somehow N'Keal Harry keeps on making it. When does he leave the building?
I don't know. He's got something. He can't play, but they keep him on. They don't have any wide receivers. They don't have anyone that can get open. So at least he can block. At least he knows the plays. So at least he's another body out there. Better than what they've got, like the Zubas and the Wilkinsons of the world.
Yeah. Russ, it's pretty clear that if N'Keal Harry had been a 4th round pick, he'd be out the door already.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Does he ever see the field again for the New England Patriots?
Yeah, I think they'll bring him back when he gets off a pup. They'll bring him back. They'll throw him a ball for a few weeks, see if they can't catch some lightning in a bottle, and which they won't.
Oh, look who's joined us, JP.
Sorry for the late arrival, guys.
All right, boy.
Well, they did pick up a wide receiver today, not a big name. He's the old Navy quarterback, used to run the option.
Yeah,
He's been down in Miami the last couple of years.
Yeah,
and he's like a converted wide receiver from quarterback, like Edelman was.
Yeah.
Why does Bill Belichick like to give the Miami Dolphins 7th round picks? He gave him a 7th round pick last year for some guy that didn't play and who ended up going back to the Dolphins. And this guy who's clearly got cut. What the hell is he giving a 7th round pick for this guy?
Well, Brian Flores will come back just like Matt Patricia did and Josh McDaniels did. That way they come back when they get fired.
Right. Timmy, before we leave the Patriots, I want to get your spin on the whole Cam Newton thing.
I think, a combination of factors. I think his performance last year had to be factored in. He looked better in the preseason, obviously. I mean, it could not have looked worse than he looked last year. Mac, I think, exceeded expectations. And then you throw the variable of the not being vaccinated in there. That's like a grenade in that locker room waiting to go off. I mean, so I think it came down. I think, as Bill Belichick does, maybe he did him a solid and released him instead of, holding him as a backup. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I don't think Cam Newton, guys, does Cam Newton play in the NFL this year?
Yeah.
He does. He plays for
some team,
Does he have to get vaccinated before somebody takes him?
Maybe he does, but maybe some team brings him in, not as a backup quarterback per se, but as a guy like, to back up a running quarterback, right? I don't know, but he'll be employed. I would assume.
I'd be interested to see what percentage of the NFL is not vaccinated.
All right, guys, crazy scenario. Mac Jones gets hurt and Cam comes back.
Whoa. Possibility.
Yeah, right? Because they already paid him his guaranteed money. They'd only be paying him the minimum veteran salary.
Really, I mean,
could happen.
Urgent needs has created stranger situations, right?
Right? I mean, the Patriots, since the offseason, this offseason has been crazy, right? We haven't played, since we played our last game last year. Look at all the crazy things that happened with the New England Patriots. I can't wait for the season to start. All right, this COVID thing has gotten crazy. It's hit the Red Sox very hard. Red Sox, one of the few teams not fully vaccinated, meaning over 85%. Seems like they were playing with fire, and now they got burned.
They're having a worse time this year, but we thought the whole COVID thing was over with than they did last year under all the restrictions.
Yeah, Red Sox couldn't afford to be losing their top players, but that's what's happening.
They lost their whole bullpen, it seems.
They lost. They don't have their.
Taylor, Bonds, Saramora.
Jack Lopez and Jonathan Aruz is your double play combination tonight for the Boston Red Sox. This didn't go south at all.
It's hard to, you don't know. there's obviously people who've been vaccinated have caught the virus, right? So I can't like
all be vaccinated too.
Right, they could all be vaccinated, but the likeliest scenario is that someone who wasn't vaccinated on the team gave it to a bunch of people who were vaccinated. That's the medically speaking, that's the most likely scenario, right?
Right.
And so, you know, it's at the point where I don't have a lot of sympathy at this point for organizations or people who can't get it together.
It's bizarre. So you have, and then even just on a side note, John Smoltz and Al Leiter have been let go of the MLB network because they refuse to get vaccinated. So they will not be part of the broadcast moving forward until I guess this is all over. A lot of these people are losing their jobs, Cam Newton, because they refuse to get vaccinated. This is a time in our lives we've never experienced.
You know, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who just flat out refuse to get vaccinated. You know, it's their body. They say, "I'll do what I want." You know, and it's their body. You know, a woman's.
No, that's not how this works, Timmy. That's not how this works. Because
I don't know, but
spreading it to other people. You know, if you wanted to do the definition of manslaughter, can you imagine how many manslaughter charges we have in this country over the last year and a half? People who willfully knew they had COVID and got into rooms, gave it to other people who died. This is
you know, like it's like a prostitute that has HIV. Could she be arrested for?
Right.
They have done that. Yes, they've done.
I mean, my view is like you have every right as an American to not take the vaccine. Every right. No one can force you to do it. You don't have a right to make that choice without consequence. You don't have a right to make that choice and keep your job or stay on MLB network or continue as the starting quarterback of the Patriots. That's a privilege. That's not a right. You don't have a right to your job. So if your company has decided that it's in the best interest of your company or your baseball team or football team or network, then that company has the right to do that, period. Like you don't have a First Amendment right and you don't have a right not to take it and still keep everything else that you have.
Yeah, right. I agree.
You don't get to play the games. Alex Cora, now all of a sudden, he's become a sympathetic character. He's given he's given a crappy team. I think kind of COVID kind of saves the narrative for Alex Cora because he's been a very poor manager, and this team has not been prepared to play with their top players for the last month. They've been a bunch of little leaguers.
No, running the bases. I mean, running the bases this year has been like little leaguers.
Yeah.
Oh, Timmy, little leaguers from running the bases, absolutely. And that disaster of that defensive inning last night looked like it was the Bad News Bears. You had good outfielders, Verdugo and Renfroe, triple hopping guys on cutoffs.
Yeah, guys.
Right?
I'm not big into excuses, but I would give some excuse to say it has been freaking hot this summer. Historically hot this summer.
Hey, Scotty, they were playing in a dome last night. It was 72 degrees in that dome last night.
No, I'm not making excuses, but I would say guys like Christian Vasquez look absolutely exhausted, tapped out, can't swing.
Hey, you know what? You're not being. I don't think you are not. You are not being hard enough on Alex Cora. Like I said it was Alex Cora. I think Alex Cora has done a shitty job for the past 6 weeks with this baseball team.
There's no question. Well, look, I said he's a scumbag and never should have been hired. So you know how I feel. And look, I want him out the door, and Jason Veritek can manage what time. He's got
Jimmy G.
Oh yeah, Timmy, you missed it. So about no more than 8 minutes ago, Scotty said that Mac Jones was a very handsome man, and I'm like,
he's no Jimmy G.
No, he's not. Absolutely, that's for damn sure. Brad Hand. I've heard more about freaking Brad Hand in the last year than I never ever heard of any player the Red Sox do not have. He's been cut by like his sixth team right now. Can we just get freaking Brad Hand so we can be shitty and we can get him out of here?
Well, that's all God's going to give you.
Could you ever tell the difference if Brad Peacock and Brad Hand were in the same room? Could you tell one from the other?
I know, right? Oh my God. To have a cock and a hand in the same team is pretty remarkable.
I just got the alert. Breaking news on breaking news on the Grandstanders. Patriots signed 12 players to practice squad.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, they got 4 more to sign. I mean, it's unbelievable. I know Joe's going to spend at least 3 weeks on the practice squad.
I've been checking the tracker every 15 minutes to see who's on there.
Boys, cock in a hand.
I'm still laughing.
I can't believe that ran right
I'm wiping
the
Let the record show. I'm wiping the tears out of my eyes because I can't get that out of my head.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I freaking nailed that one. And oh my God. Thank you, Russ. Jesus Christ.
A cock in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bush.
Absolutely.
That's my philosophy. That's been my experience so far.
That's exactly right. Oh my God, Jesus, we walked right into that.
Hey, by the way, this show was perfectly tame until Timmy showed up, and now look what happened.
I know, man. I know. You just bring that aura to us, Timmy. All right, boys. If it was the off season and you could pick one guy, Schwarber or JD, to be on the team next year as your DH left fielder, who would you take?
You know, JD's a proven commodity. I mean, he had a little off year. That guy, he's a machine. You know, he's going to do it every year. He puts a lot into his craft. I like JD, my opinion.
All right, so you take JD.
I take Schwarber just for a change up, and he's a lot better in the field. And let's see what happens. And I think he'll be cheaper too.
Yeah, that's a great point, Joe. Yeah, Russ, who would you take?
Yeah, I think it's about money. I've been sort of 50-50 on them as players, but if you can get Schwarber for $5, $6, $7 million less than JD, I think you take him.
That's a quality reliever right there.
Yeah, as long as that money's put to the bullpen, right?
Right, exactly.
And Schwarber's younger, and JD, look, this is and Joe talks about this a lot. You know, some of these guys won't, unless they're punched in on the time clock, they won't work hard. JD Martinez came into camp out of shape, and you know, that's it. That affects the whole season. And he's still heavy. And I don't know why, after a guy who played that poorly last season, that he did that. But now he's worn out.
Well,
he's run out of gas, it looks like.
Yeah, once they started playing him in the field, which goes back to Chaim, right? Once they started playing him in the field, he went to crap on at the plate.
And Scumbag said that beginning of the season that he would not ever play JD Martinez in the outfield.
Well,
and he's played a lot there.
Yeah, Chaim put him in that corner. He's got his general manager to thank for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Schwarber will give him a break now. Schwarber can play the outfield.
So I saw a defensive metric, and there's been a bunch of them out there, that has Xander Bogaerts the worst defensive shortstop in the last 5 years, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I saw that same stat. Crazy.
You know, that it's weird because the eye test doesn't say that to me, but the stats are the stats, right?
Right.
Well, no, the stats are eye test too, because the defensive metrics are all pretty subjective to the person compiling the stats to me.
You know,
could he have gotten to that or not?
Yeah, Timmy, I'm with you in the sense he doesn't look like a bad shortstop. He doesn't look like a great shortstop, but the question
he doesn't look like the worst.
He doesn't look like the worst, but the question is, he's going to be looping back around for another contract in about 1.5 years or 1.25 years or whatever. And are you signing him up for 8 years to be your shortstop at $35 million a year?
You know, I'd like to see the metrics. You know, the top 10 shortstops. What does that work out to in winning games? You know, when they do it on the computer or whatever. You know. So
Scotty, because you're the biggest Xander fan, right? So here's the problem: you can't really move him to third base because Devers is there, and you can't move him and you can't move Devers to first base because Tristan Casas is there.
Yeah.
Could you move Xander to left field?
That's the answer. You answered your own question. Absolutely.
Right.
That's where he goes. That's the future.
And he spends the last 8 years of his Red Sox career as their left fielder.
Absolutely. He has all the power numbers, the average. He trends to that. And look, we don't have anything to compare him to. Xander's been our shortstop for so long. It's not like you can say, oh, I remember this guy. After 7-8 years, this is your boy. You know, and they didn't draft that Marcelo Mayer, and who's going to come up in the system real quick. He's an A-Rod type. He could be up here in 2 years.
Yeah.
Playing shortstop. Apparently, he's trends to like a Brandon Crawford type shortstop. And
Yastrzemski came up as a shortstop. He was a left fielder for many years, a Hall of Fame left fielder.
But also, if he opted out Xander, other teams are not going to want to pay him all that money to play shortstop when they know he's not that good defenseman.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be mentioning left field also.
Yeah, his age, you better beware. These defensive metrics are going to be brought up in the negotiations.
Yeah, that guy, Scott Boras, maybe you heard of him. All right, we got to go to the Celtics to wrap it up. Rondo is available. This is up to Timmy.
Oh, he's signed with the Lakers.
With the Lakers.
Did he already sign with the Lakers?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did he? Let me look him up.
Pending.
I'd take him in a heartbeat, man. I love his game.
I saw a great tweet, guys, that when Cam Newton got cut, that it's rumored that he's going to sign now with the Lakers.
It says likely. It says likely. I'm looking at it right now. Likely.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think there's room on the Celtics for Dennis Schroeder and Rajon Rondo. I just don't. Yeah.
He just seems to, you know.
He says he loved him over. That Rondo got him the ball where he wanted to better than Schroeder.
Right.
I mean, I love the way. I think he'd be the best thing in the world for the Jays. He's just one of the best facilitators I've seen.
But he only plays on televised games.
I don't know. When he puts his mind to it, I haven't seen many better. You know, beat the Celtics single-handedly in that Chicago series a couple of years ago. The only reason we get past a crappy Chicago team was because he got hurt.
Well, Russ had him at, which I thought was great as kind of a player coach. That would have been fun. I would have been all in for that, right?
Yeah, that ship has sailed though. That ship has sailed.
Yeah, especially because I can pronounce the head coach's name, and so he's got to stay a while.
Coach Shu, we'll call Coach Shu.
He is signed with the Lakers. I just saw it. It's official.
Oh, he did. All right, Brad, is he done for roster building for this year?
No, he's got to do something. He's got 16 players on the roster, so at a minimum, he's cutting Jabari Parker, getting rid of Edwards, dealing Chris Dunn, trading 2 guys for 1. I mean, but it's a marginal move at this point.
You like the team? You guys like this roster going into the season? Or these training camps?
It's a temporary setup. He's setting it up for the year after.
Yep, I agree. I think it's I like it. It's much grittier players. I think they're going to play hard. They'll play better defense. I think we'll like this team better. I'm not sure how many more games they'll win, but I think that last year's team was horrible to watch.
Over under is 47. I thought that was kind of high.
Well, They have a bunch of NBA players. They're not going to be dependent on Grant Williams coming in and giving them 18 good minutes, which is the roster that Danny gave them last year.
I think this team goes as Tatum's emotions go. If he learns to grow up and get a little Magic Johnson, a little Michael Jordan, a little Larry Bird into his attitude, I think it would bode well. But I saw some stuff out of him last year that I didn't care for at all.
Yeah, have you seen the way he's bulked up? He looks very, very strong. Looks like he's been working hard in the offseason. Looks like he's twice as big. He's Mr. Muscles right now.
Good.
That bodes well.
Well, it's really going to be about that Jason Tatum notices that he has 4 other guys on the court with the same uniform.
Yeah. He gets the ball and he works his shot for himself.
If Jason Tatum the first 3 games takes a charge, I'll know he's a different Jason Tatum.
I just hate that end of the game dribble for 20 seconds and then take a shot from 10 feet outside the 3-point line.
Yeah, Udoka's not going to buy that, is he?
He's going to start making his teammates better. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I think I don't think Udoka is going to put up with much, whether it's Marcus Smart or Jason Tatum. Year one, he's going to establish his authority. I'm just looking for that guy to give him, basically create some new energy.
I think Udoka, because he was in Japan with Tatum, yeah. I think he got and had him one-on-one. I think he got all the messages, all the messages to him jokingly, Jason, no more of the, like Timmy said, heaving up 35-footers at the end of quarters. No more stealing the ball from Pritchard like he doesn't even belong in the NBA. All this is going to stop Jason. I think he already got it out.
He's already said the number one thing is to increase the assist per possession percentage. And that's what they need. They got to move the ball.
Make his teammates better.
What's the most interesting plot on the narrative coming into this season? What's the thing one story that interests you the most and how it transpires?
Well, for me, it's like, are we going to have a bunch of crybabies on the Celtics, looking to get out of town, or, being divas, or are they going to buy into what they're selling over there and play as a team?
I think it's if the Celtics are going to have a shot at getting Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine or the third star or the second star, whatever you want to call it, without giving up Jaylen Brown, Nesmith, Robert Williams, those guys are going to have to play well. Pritchard, because those guys are going to be the ones who are in the trade, right? Or Smart. If Smart goes out and shows that he can be a top 15 point guard in the NBA, he may have some value in a trade like that. They need value. They need these guys to develop.
Yeah. On that note, boys, that's our show for tonight. Want to thank everyone behind the scenes. I want to thank, of course, Corbin. Want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again on next Wednesday night at 6:30. We will be back in the studio with our special guest for his 7th annual appearance, Governor Michael Dukakis. So please make sure to tune in. I know we're all very excited. My name is Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.